Hey, what's up, y'all? So I created a video breakdown here on how to retire from personally selling life insurance in 12 months when working with us here at Scale. So this is an agent business plan. To give you a bit of a backstory on why this business plan was created was that I looked at all of the top agents that I've ever coached, trained, or have been in my downline or agency, and I've seen their progression over 12 months. And I've seen the different stages that they ran into when they hit month 3, 6, 9, 12. And I want to be able to make this clear for you so you can have an end goal on like, what does this look like? What does our partnership look like? What does your life look like at this point as we head into that 12-month period? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your first 3 months. So you get signed up with us here at Scale. You start building your own marketing engine that you have the ability to control versus buying leads and all those other things. And here in your first 3 months, you have one goal. Your goal is to write business and to increase your cash flow. That is your goal. You need to be able to understand how do like these leads that are coming in from our marketing engine with Don and then the script and then the CRM systems. I need to figure out, at what times do I dial? When do I dial? How does this work when it comes to appointments? What states work best for me? I'm writing the business. I'm running applications. Like you need to get into a flow of selling to increase your cash flow until the system becomes second nature. If you're a client of ours right now, you know what I mean, that like you found like this trigger where the system started to become second nature for you and you started doing 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 a month. Sometimes you went back down, sometimes you went back up, but you've been very consistent to where you haven't fell below a certain number. Now that shows that you have the system in place, right? And let's look at it from a mathematical standpoint. Based off of our new pricing to work with us, you pay $3,000 in month one to get started with us, and you're spending about $700 per week on your ad spend, which means that if you're paying $3,000 a month, 700 per week on ad spend, that means you're paying a total every month of about $5,800 a month. Well, at $5,800 per month, that means at the end of 3 months with running your marketing engine, it costs you a total of $17,400 for 3 months of running your lead engine, assuming that you're not spending more than $700 per week. You spend $17,400. Now, this is where at a minimum you should be writing 30,000 per month. Now, if you're doing more than 30,000, these numbers are going to look even better. But assuming that you're writing a minimum of 30,000 per month, then that 30,000, if we multiply it by the same 3 months, that means that at the end of month three, you would have invested $17,400 into building your engine, and you made $90,000 in issued premium, 90K. Now let's do the math around some expenses. Out of that 90,000 in issue premium, let's subtract 15% from chargebacks, buyer's remorse, all of that stuff. So 15% of that business drops off. That means you're looking at within a 3 month period of time, 13,500 in total chargebacks if you're at 15%. And then, of course, adjust accordingly based off of where you are. And then 17,400 is what you invested when it came to your marketing engine, which means that after the investment into building your marketing engine, after 15,000 on the drop offs of chargebacks, you're netting down 59,100, give or take, which is right around about $20,000 net per month. That's your net cash flow per month, 20,000. Okay. Now you're like, okay, cool. I'm doing 20,000 cash in my pocket every month. How much does it cost for my bills, like to be able to live? Obviously, I hope it doesn't cost you 20,000 to live. I really hope it doesn't cost you 10,000 to live, right? But now that's what you're netting down from there, assuming no other additional costs like you might have dollar systems and things of that nature. This is what your first 3 months looks like when you work with us at Scale. But it gets better, okay? Now that you hit month three, the next thing that you're going to run into is when you hit the 3 month mark, you're going to be in a groove. And normally, when somebody gets into a groove, one or two things occurs. The first one is they start getting distracted. So now you're starting to say, okay, cool, what else can I do? because now that you're making more money than you've ever earned in your life, your mind starts to go into a place where it's like, what else can I do now? Can I diversify now? Now you want to go from IULs and you want to start selling mortgage protection too, or maybe you want to start selling annuities too. And the second that you divert your time and get distracted is the day that your income is going to start to decrease. You're going to start changing up your hours. Like one day I want to work on this day, other days I want to do this, and now you start changing up too much, and you're going to be like, you're going to hit us right around 3 months and say, what's happening? And normally what happens is that you've done something different in your system that you weren't doing in the first 3 months. That's natural, and it's not your fault. You're making more money. So it's kind of like the woman in the red dress where you take your eyes off the prize. I encourage you not to do that, because you're going to lose money. I've seen this happen too many times with top agents. You run into that, or you go into the second problem, which is you're going to run into a brick wall. Essentially, this is where you've been having the same conversation over and over and over again for 3 months. You've been having more conversations than you ever had in your life when it comes to insurance, and because you're doing this every day, the repetitiveness of it all after the end of 3 months is going to turn into a situation where you're going to hit a brick wall and you're going to start changing things about what you're saying on the phone, because you're like, oh, I know I'm running the script so many times. And then you might run into like where the script doesn't work a few times and you're not getting as many deals closed in 1 week. Let's say you go a week or even 2 weeks on like just a dry spell, right? Because you're used to writing a certain amount of business that now when you go 2 weeks on a dry spell, you start to panic. When you start to panic, what ends up happening is you'll start saying, oh, it's the script, or oh, it's me, and you start changing so many things. You start moving. It's natural. Again, when you're an entrepreneur and things aren't going the way that they're used to going, you think that you start changing everything. That's the last thing to do, is to change things, because the idea is that it's not really the changing of things. It could just be the change of the season. It could be the change of the weather. It could be the change of the smell. That does not mean that the system needs to be changed. And I've seen agents do this, and one of the things I had to do was reel them back in and say, don't get too smart. Stick to the basics. Okay, so don't change things. Now, what you should do in month 3, because you're going to have this urge to want to do more, what you should start doing in month 3, if you want to invest your money, you want to start diversifying your time because you're making a lot of money at this point, is this is where you want to start recruiting agents. So here at month 3, this is where now, what we have now is our recruitment funnel. Now with this recruitment funnel, you could invest your time and your energy and your money into now having us build out this recruitment funnel for you. And our goal is from month 3 to month 6 to get 50 agents recruited into your agency, a minimum of 50 agents, could be more. Now, from month 3 to month 6, you're still going to do everything that you were doing in month 1 through 3, not getting distracted, sticking to the script, continuing to make money, continuing to stack your bank account, helping a lot of families. But in the meantime, you're also recruiting those agents. Now, to prevent yourself from splitting your time up with newly recruited agents, you need to make sure that those agents are on your time. You're not on their time. What I mean by that is you're not carving out time that you would have normally been focused on selling insurance. You're not carving out that time by now going and focusing on the agents. No, you're going to now build your own dial session, your own Zoom call, your own Google Meet call, and all these new agents that are being recruited from this recruitment funnel, you're going to have them on the dial sessions with you for the next 3 months, month 3 to 6. So while they're getting licensed, while they're getting trained, they're also learning how to sell, and they're seeing you in the rhythm. They're actually seeing you, the upline, write business. I mean, the best thing in the world is seeing your upline actually write business and actually doing the thing that they said that like you would be doing. You're building great culture into your agency month 3 to 6, and you're getting these new agents getting their confidence the right way. So if anything you should be investing in is now building out this recruitment funnel so that in month 3 to 6, they're watching you now do your thing since you're hot, and they're inspired and ready to go. Now, by the end of month 6, you should be still cash flowing $20,000 a month. You now have 50 agents recruited in your agency by the end of month 6. They've been hearing you sell, and that's by the end of 6 months, you're in a really good position at this point. Now, from month 6 through 9, this is where you're going to run into your next issue, which is you have agents recruited, but they may not be writing business. You don't know who to focus your time and energy on. Some of them are could be superstars. Others need help. What do? I don't have the systems. I don't have enough time. I'm also not writing as much business because like my time is getting diverted with these agents. How should I be structuring my business? What about LLCs? What about taxes? Like how does all of this what type of structure should I have for the agency when it comes to how much should I be earning in an override? How much resources should I be giving to agents? Should I be giving them leads? You're gonna have a lot of questions from 6 to 9. Natural, right? Because you're in this phase of now transitioning over into an agency owner when you were used to doing it yourself. This is where we have our leadership and development mastermind. So I have small group masterminds with agents with us who have a certain amount of agents that are already in their downline, where through the leadership and development, all the questions that you're about to have, all the problems that you're about to run into, agents who just fall off the face of the map, they're not hitting you back, you recruited them and they're not writing, building and growing your agency. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to get a new office and you don't know what to do. And like that's where in that leadership and development mastermind, take my 10 years of experience and I'm going to be able to basically tell you in no time all the problems that you're going to run into and how to fix them. So that in that month 6 through 9, I'm really going to be teaching you how to develop over into a leader, right? A leader that your agents are following. They'll follow you off a cliff. All the agents that I've ever recruited, many of them follow me off a cliff, right? And basically, I want to teach you from a leadership and development standpoint how to do that and how to build the proper systems to your business, how to track your financials, your taxes, everything associated in leadership and development month 6 through 9, so that when you hit month 9 and now you're out of our leadership and development program from month 6 through 9, again, you're still writing business in month 6 through 9 and you still have the agents getting on your calls. And then you should have some agents beginning to start writing business between month 6 through 9 too. If they were watching you in month 3 through 6, they should be writing business. You should be earning some overrides now. And hopefully at this point, you might even be generating enough overrides where it's offsetting your cost of you running your marketing engine. So that $5,800 a month on your marketing engine, your overrides are now covering that cost, which means that all the income that you're earning from your personal pen is all profit at this point. This is a great position to be by the end of 6 through 9, right? You got agents, you're writing business, it's all profit. You're in the right direction and retired. This is where from month 9 through 12, our goal in those 3 months of 9 through 12 is we want to get your top 10 agents that you have. We need to make sure that they have their own lead engine set up. So basically taking your top 10 people and moving them to month 1. They should be going through what you went through in your month 1 through 3 while you're at month 9 through 12. They all need to have their own marketing engine set up to where you're not providing them with leads, right? You don't want to be responsible for that. You want them to put their credit card on file, just like you did, to have their own marketing engine where they got leads coming in every day. They're busy every day and they're following the same exact plan as you. So now if your top 10 agents have their own lead engines, let's look at the math. You have 10 agents. If they're all doing $30,000 a month now from having their own lead engines, that means that your agency, without you writing any business, is doing $300,000 in issue premium. If you're earning a 10% override on a $300,000 issue premium, that means that you're now doing $30,000 a month in overrides. Look at month 1 through 3. You were only pulling $20,000 a month in cash. You're now pulling $30,000 in overrides. You now have the ability to retire from personally writing business because your overrides are now doing more than your personal pen. You're like, great. Second that my overrides does $1 more than my personal pen, I only need to write on my personal pen whenever I feel like doing it. I don't have to anymore. I'm retired from writing my personal pen by month 12. So the goal is by the end of 12 months to have your agency writing enough in initial premium, issue premium, that it now does more than your personal pen. That's the goal. Now you have the ability to ultimately be able to retire by getting your 10 agents into month 1. Now think about this for a minute. This is where it gets cool, because if your agents follow the same business plan, the scale marketing business plan, they follow the same plan. That means that 6 months from now, you now have 10 agents who are also recruiting 50 agents too. If they all decided to get the recruitment funnel as well, They now are getting 50 agents into their down. That means 500 agents have now just entered into your downline, and the same system goes. And at this point, this is where you're going to run into your next problem at month 12. How do I run an agency now that has over 200, 300, 400, 500 agents who could be all over the country, who are all different states? How do I manage these type of virtual downlines? Who do I need to hire? Who do I need in my contracting department? What assistants do I need? Like, this is a whole nother level of being able to run an agency. And this is where at this point I normally host one-on-ones. These are more one-on-ones that I have with large agency owners who are normally doing over $150,000 in total initial premium within their agency, and now they need like agency help, right? Like, I got agents in my downline. We're doing over 150,000, 200,000 in issue premium. What do I do? How do I structure it? Who do I need to hire? What staff do I need to assist me? And now you're building an enterprise at this point. Okay. This is what I want for you by the end of 12 months when you decide to work with us at scale. This is what I want for you. I want you to retire from personally writing business. If you don't have that as a goal, then you don't have anything to strive for, which means that you can end up doing this for 3 months and then you end up stopping because you're like, I need to relax, I need to take some time, I need to take a break. It's because you don't necessarily have a plan, anything that you're chasing. And this is the plan that I've laid in place for many of our top people. And I want to lay this plan in place for you too. Give yourself 12 months here in this 2025. And by the end of 12 months, if you follow this exact plan to the T, you won't have to personally write business anymore. You're building an agency by the end of the year. And then if you look at this 2 years from now, then think about it. You now have 500 agents in your downline. They're all duplicating the same system that you started from a year ago. Everybody's spending their own money on marketing. You're not dropping any cash to do it. You're just leading the organization and building something amazing. You're going to be one of the top, agencies within your IMO. I pray that this was valuable, to be able to teach you how to retire from selling, how retire from personally selling life insurance in 12 months. Drop any feedback that you have below. Please share with me what you got from this, and I look forward to having a great 2025. Peace.